Hi, I'm Kim. Now, have you got a small space or a small cutting mat or both, and you just don't know how to handle the big pieces of fabric, how to cut those out in what is just a small area? Now, oddly, I have this problem not on my cutting table, but if I am recording videos for you, I have a pretty small space because I've got to fit it under the camera. But let me switch cameras and show you, because I've got a small cutting mat and I'm going to do this in a small space with a big piece of fabric. So here we are with a very small cutting mat here, which I think is about the smallest you can get. Okay, this is my normal size cutting mat behind, so don't be put off by that one. So we've got the smallest cutting mat. Now I've got my ruler and my rotary cutter, but here I have a really big piece of fabric. Okay, this is just an old piece of curtain lining that I've got to demonstrate to you, but you can see that it's it's even got cat hairs on it. You can see that it is the same size. In fact, it is bigger than your normal quilting weight cotton. So how on earth are we going to deal with that? Because our first rule of cutting is we need to give ourselves a straight edge, and then we need to cut our strips or whatever we're doing with it. So first of all, I am going to fold this in half, and you can absolutely do this. So you do not need to cut your fabric in its stated it is now. So when it comes off the bolt, it is already folded in half. Now, quilting weight fabric is about 42 to 44 inches wide, and it is folded in half on the bolt. So that means you're looking at about 20, 21, 22 inches from the fold. So from the fold here to the selvage down at the bottom when it is folded, but we can fold it in half again. So that's exactly what I am going to do, is fold it in half again. What I am looking for is making sure that my selvages are nice and straight and the folds are on a nice grain line. Now, if you don't know what the grain lines are, it's basically just the weave of the cotton when it makes the fabric. So we've got our warp and our weft threads. You don't need to know what those are for this video, but they go lengthways and they go vertical ways, crossways, you know, the other way. They go at right angles to each other. So we need to get it on one of these cross grain lines here so that the fabric is sitting flat. So that's the only thing you need to worry about really, is just making sure that it is all sitting nice and straight. Now, just a little note about selvages. Sometimes they're a bit wibbly wobbly. Don't worry, it's just how they're sitting on the loom. As long as they're pretty much straight, you're pretty much good to go. And then at the other end where this fold is, I have also put the fold on the grain line here. I also have my cat just off stage left of the camera, so he may appear on the camera and come underneath. He is like, there we go, look. There is my cat. That's Shadow. So you can say hello to Shadow. I don't know what he's doing. I think he wants feeding, actually. I don't know why it is. As I'm recording this, it's mid-morning. He's had breakfast. He has 2 breakfasts. And now I think he wants 11. So when I've done this, I'm going to go and grab a coffee. So I'll give him some food then. So I have folded this in half again. So I'll just make sure that this is folded nicely here and it's folded nicely here. So that's one thing to get our fabric ready. Now I need to look at how I deal with my cutting mat. So my cutting mat at the moment is placed landscape. If I turn it vertically like this, portrait, like that, then I can get my fabric and you'll find that it magically fits on. So let me just angle my camera. You can see here that it fits on vertically, and that's how I'm going to start to tackle it. So first rule of cutting is, let me just see if I can get the bottom of that, I'm going to give myself a straight edge. So let me get my ruler lined up just down at the bottom here, and I'm going to get rid of this edge on the right side here. So that's that gone. So I've got a straight edge, and Shadow is sitting just to the left of the fabric, just here. So I try not to cut his tail. Honestly, the things I go through for you to show you how to do things. Okay, so I'm going to turn this round so that I can cut my first strip. Now, the rule is, with all cutting, is the fabric that we want is underneath our ruler. This is not a full cutting demonstration by any stretch, but just so you know that when I had it cutting the edge off here, the fabric that I want, this bit, is underneath the ruler. Now I want to cut my first strip off, so I'm turning it round so it is underneath my left hand in this case, because I am right-handed. If you are left-handed, you need to do it the other way around. So I've still got my cutting mat in that portrait position, and I can put my ruler here and cut whatever strip I want to cut. In fact, as I've been switching it around, it's gone out of sync a bit. There we go, just smooth it off. So let's just say I want a 3-inch strip, so I get my ruler nicely lined up. I'm holding the ruler and I'm pressing through those layers of the fabric. Don't forget to put your guard on your rotary cutter. So there we go. And then all I would do then, so if I want to subcut this, I then turn my cutting mat round to its landscape way, and then I can subcut this into whatever sizes I need. You do not need to have this all laid out in one single strip, so in a single thing to subcut it. You don't need to be doing that. You can absolutely have it all folded up. So let me just fold this back up to show you, just very quickly. This could be a singing quilting channel. I've lost all my lines now. There we go. So I've got that horizontal. It's folded up into its sort of double folds. I'm going to get rid of the edge there. And then turn it round, and let's just say I want another 3-inch. If I want 3-inch squares, and you get the idea. Okay, so and the beauty of this is I've now got 4 3-inch squares all good to go. Okay, so even if you've got a full size like an A2 or A1 cutting mat, you can still cut with your fabric folded in half again. So I really hope that helps. So don't be put off. If you've got a small cutting space, you can definitely handle this. Now, the best kind of cutting mat that you need, I've actually got some advice on that. So if you watch the video that is coming up in just a moment over on the right hand side of your screen, you can watch that now. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.